Hello, mathematicians. Mrs. Dorn and Ava here to learn with you today, and we're going to get our minds warmed up with some counting. And let's go ahead and start counting with a different number. We're going to count up by ones. So let's start with the number 22. Are you ready? So think about what comes after 22. Do you have it in your head? Thumbs up when you're ready. Okay, most friends are ready with 22. Are you ready? Here we go. Get your mouth ready. Here we go. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Stop. Good work. Very nice. Now, let's see if we can count. We don't do this very often, but it is something you need to do for first grade, and we're getting closer and closer to first graders. So let's count by fives. Are you ready? Here we go, Ava. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Good job, boys and girls. And if you remember correctly, last time we were talking about shapes and all kinds of shapes. And remember, Ava and I, we went on that neat little hunt for different shapes. And we even found some other shapes. We got a lot of these from our friends. This one came from our friend Carter, a little Play-Doh container. Do you remember what shape that could be? What was it? You're right, Ava. This is a cylinder because it's got like a circle base. And that's kind of what I noticed. You had that circle base, didn't you? So yes, cylinder. And I'm wondering if people remember the name for this one. Do you remember it, Ava? It had squares on every single side. Yes. If you said cube, you're correct. Ava said cube, so she got it. You're right. That was a cube. Do you remember? And then we were talking, we found this kind of shape, which was crayons, and it wasn't a square. It was a rectangle. Do you remember the name of the shape? Oh, yeah. Yes, boys and girls, do you remember what it was? If you said rectangular prism, you're correct, because that's what that was. And then this one was kind of an easier one. Remember, this is the bottom part of that toy that we had when we pushed it on. It was so fun because it shot out. Do you remember how fun that was? Let's see if I can do it again just because it was fun. So, oops. So, yes. Do you remember what this one was called? Yep. Here's a trick hint. This was a cone shape. Remember, cone had a circle, or you could say even a triangle type shape to it, didn't it? And then one that definitely had a circle shape to it was this circle, which was like a sphere. So that's like kind of a ball. So say sphere again. Sphere. So today we're going to be learning more so we can really get those words down. So let's take a look at some papers that we have. So on this page, here are the words that we talked about. We have the word cylinder, sphere, cube, I see the B in there, and cone. So you can see those sounds in there. So what you're going to do on this page is we're going to try and figure out what is what, and we're going to write the words next to the shape. So do you remember what this is? Cone. And this one, cube. And this one, sphere. That's such a fun word to say. And this one, cylinder. So we have that kind of paper we can do. And then this one's kind of neat. They want us to cut out, so we get to do some more cutting. We're just going to cut out this bottom part. So we'll get out our scissors a little later. And they want us to match the 2D shape, which is that flat shape, with the 3D shape that we've been learning about from yesterday. So like this square, of all of these, which one do you think it's going to be? Oh, yes, Ava's right. It's going to be the cube. So we'll cut out the square and we'll put them here. But before we glue we can glue them down. But before we do that, we want to make sure we put those all out. So we can talk about that when we have everybody, after we're done with this part of our little mini lesson here. And then on this page, this kind of reminds me of what we did the other day when we made our shape museum. Remember when we were going on that hunt? And think about things that you can draw. So it says draw the matching 2D shape to the 3D shape. So they want us to draw a triangle. So we can draw a triangle here. And for the cube, we would draw a square, so we'll draw a square in there. And for our sphere, we'll draw our circle. And for our rectangular prism, we'll draw a rectangle. So those are some of the fun things that we're going to do. But also, did you know that there's a really cool game that Ava and I found where you can really practice getting to know the names of those shapes? And we're going to show you where you can find it and how you can play it. So take a look at this. Okay, so here we are in our classroom, and hopefully if you're not in my classroom, your teacher can show you the link to this game. It's a game called ABC, and if you're in our classroom, this is where I put the ABC, a little link. So you would click on the bin there, and it's going to take you right to a game where you can learn all about shapes and especially learn their names, because we've talked about how mathematicians, they really need to learn a lot of vocabulary, which is different types of words. So this is called Monster Mansion Shape Match, and it's going to load up. And do you know what a mansion is? A mansion is like a huge house. So look at this house with all those, oh my goodness, lots of monsters inside of them. And you're going to be able to match different shapes. So the way you play this is you're going to click pictures to picture. So you'll click on this little circle, that little window there, and then you're going to click on the very same window where it says show. And what they're going to do is they will give you different shapes and you just have to match them. So for example, let's look at this shape right here. Do you see this shape? Which monster has this same type of shape? And I'm looking, no. Ooh, yeah, that looks like those could fit. So I'm going to go ahead and put those together. So I'll click on this one. And they said that's a nut, which is a type of, goes like kind of on a screw. And then this will say to you is a hexagon, because that's the name of that shape. And then they close the doors. So for example, for here, that's bag. And that looks about this shape. So if you needed to learn this shape, you could click on it and it would say trapezoid. And then down here, we've got two, oh, these look a lot alike, don't they? So I'll click on those. And this little monster says toy block. And then when I click on this monster, it says cube, which we know because we're learning those different things. And then they're going to keep going. And do you recognize some of these shapes? I see like cylinders. And oh, there's our cone. And there's a moon shape. So boys and girls, you're going to be able to explore and find all those different shapes and keep practicing that vocabulary so we get really, really good. Just like Ava and I. We are great mathematicians, but we put some work into it, and we know you are too. So keep up the great work and we'll get started.